everybody, and welcome to Critique That Leak, the first game show since Are You Smarter Than 5th Grade to exploit preteens, but this time with their Photoshop skills. Critique That Leak is brought to you by Concrete Matter. There's nothing better to start your day off with. Concrete Matter. Well, let's critique some leaks! Welcome back. Our first leak here is the notorious Rayman DLC leak. This was released around February 2015. And nobody really debunked this when it came out. In fact, Ubisoft even said they were going to make a statement about this because a bunch of outlets started coming out to them and saying like, hey, is this real? Do you have anything to comment on this? Ubisoft was originally going to make a statement, and then the person behind the leak came out and said, I did this is fake, and that was Artsy Omni of Smashified. And this was actually a promotional stunt to advertise his YouTube show, Smashified, in which he and other artists take much beloved and very anticipated characters for Smash Brothers and, you know, makes them in a Smash 4-esque style to basically show what their render would look like in Smash Brothers. So overall, I don't really have anything to critique about this leak. It was so well done that nobody really was able to debunk it until it was debunked by the leaker itself, so I'm pretty okay with this. No critique for this leak. No. Double no! I'm actually quite a big fan of this leak. This is basically showing that as DLC, a classic mode was going to come, which basically mimicked the entirety of Smash 64's classic mode. I like it. I didn't know the E3 demo for Smash Brothers was supposed to be a mess. Whoa, hold on there, buddy. There's a demo for the DLC? Dude, you're gonna get slaughtered out there. This is some high-class information. What are you doing leaking this? Meta Knight's render is basically the same as Brawl's. Leak harder next time. We gotta pick up the Ice Climbers in action here, but why did they take a picture of the gamepad? There's probably like a really nice TV in this room too, and he decides to take a picture of the gamepad. I got nothing. Shit. This is beautiful. This all looks pretty good until you realize Ness is Lucas from Brawl, and that is Diddy Kong's render from Tropical Freeze. I'm sorry. This is a bit of a neat leak because this was actually released after Mewtwo was announced as DLC, but before Lucas was announced as DLC, so it's kind of interesting to see that the leaker actually really did predict two of the first DLC characters for Smash Bros. 4. However, here's the thing, I believe some pretty crazy stuff, but that is just preposterous! I'm so sad. This is actually an April Fool's prank. That is Nestor, a character that originated from Nintendo Power Magazine, so surely this can't take a critique. But Jesus, man, what's up with that background? It looks like they got the tools from Michaels to make that thing. I dig the GameCube-style polygonal model they're sporting here. Not bad. Ooh, a mystery character! Too bad the other characters look like garbage. I like this one. This one's good. This one's actually really good. I like this one. Watch out, Mario! He's behind you! This was apparently going to be Mewtwo in the Subspace Emissary in Brawl, and this looks better than most of the Smash 4 leaks today. This was made in Brawl's era. Why? This was released before Sonic and Pac-Man were announced for Smash Bros. 4. And get this, I've seen worse. Come on, man. These are literally trophies from the game. But I will give extra points for Chibi Robo in there. This one ain't half bad. I love angles. Want to see a tragedy unfold in 12 seconds? You see, the Adventure Mode button is garish enough to fit into Smash 4's hodgepodge of a menu system, but that character select screen needs to go away and think about what it's done. This leak is actually supposed to mimic what Smash 4 would be like if it was an arcade game, and I actually like this one. It looks very clean and it looks very professional. I dig. Wow, I'm gonna have to call the real patrol on this one, because this is too real. Hey! Based on my indecision on whether to make this a game show or a talk show, we have a caller. You're on the air.
Hey Scott, long-time caller, first-time listener.
Leaky Steve? Our leaker on the field? What are you doing here?
I can't help myself, man. I'm gonna start leaking if I can't help myself. Oh no, here I go again!
Wait a minute, Leaky Steve. Are you sending us an exclusive leak?
Sure am.
Now I trust you with every potential leak, Leaky Steve, but I think you're gonna have to prove yourself to our loyal audience.
Alright, fine. Just in case you guys don't trust me, here's a picture of my foot to prove that I'm real.
Is this how all leakers take pictures?
I better scram. I've shown too much, but I'll send you that leak eventually.
That should do it for today. Of course, I didn't cover every single Smash Bros. Leak and rumor ever conceived, but I mainly wanted to focus on the major ones and a few of the smaller ones here and there, so I think we covered that pretty well. Of course, if you remember a specific Smash Bros. Leak or rumor back in the day, please leave a comment down yonder. And while I wait for said comment, Leaky Steve ended up sending me this big Smash Bros. Leak, so I gotta check it out. No way! Hello everybody and welcome to Critique That Leak, the first game show to implement the per leak measurement. For example, we're getting cancelled per 5 leaks, and my god, this is utterly terrifying to me. Let's critique some leaks! Today on Critique That Leak, we're going to be taking a look at the dreaded Nintendo E3 lineup leaks. These leaks have definitely fallen in popularity, but were very prominent from 2013 to 2015. What these leaks are nothing more than pieces of paper with words on them, sometimes forming coherent titles for games. Not always, though. This is one of the most low-effort leaks you can pull off. Let's see how convincing some of these sound. Hello, Mr. Christ. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm about to exclaim your name. Not anything personal, it's just this leak is gross. Alright, see you later, man. Jesus Christ, this leak is horrendous. The format's alright, however this leaker did not try to make this leak seem legitimate at all. Instead of coming up with creative titles for new entries in the Paper Mario or Metroid series, they just wrote the franchise name with temp written after them. And oh me, oh my, why are there so many new franchises without any names or even working titles? Critiqued. Back before E3 2013, Nintendo announced that certain Best Buys would be holding special demo events showcasing games from their E3 booths. Those games turned out to be Super Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 8, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and Wind Waker HD. You see, 3 of those games were announced at E3, so that makes the demo events much more compelling to go to. This leak says that you'd be able to play New Super Luigi U, Pikmin 3, Wonderful 101, and Wind Waker HD at the demo events. Not as compelling, especially because one of the games is just DLC. The last Nintendo was known for their disappointing ways, so while this leak had barely any effort put into it, it's more believable than others, I would say. Classic Nintendo at E3 2015, being dreadful and whatnot. See, before E3 2015, Nintendo fans had a lot of hope for what would be shown off at the show. This leak shows off things like F-Zero Charge, Pokemon Z, Fire Emblem Next, Star Fox Orbit, and 2 new Metroid games. Well, I've seen worse in this format before. I didn't know you could force cataracts this hard. And even then, if you decipher what these titles say, get ready for potential titles for fanfiction. Smash Bros. Blue Nightmare, Paper Mario Spotlight of the Thousand Year Door, Mario Strikers Epic, and even Wario Land 5 Upside Down. This is one of the first leaks of this kind I remember, and it's kinda spot on. Of course, it details GameCube Virtual Console, which is a myth, but it went over Star Fox, Zelda, Mario Party, which were all shown off at E3 2014. Of course, a lot of this wasn't and was obviously fake. Shit, that was 5 leaks. Hello everybody and welcome to Critique That Leak, the first game show to ever laugh in the face of continuity. Hello everybody and welcome to Critique That Leak, the first game show to implement the per leak measurement. For example, we're getting cancelled per 5 leaks, and my god, this is utterly terrifying to me. Let's critique some leaks! Of course, a lot of this wasn't and was obviously fake. That was 5 leaks. My yuck glands are about to burst at the lack of continuity. What a riot. The Nintendo NX received a fair amount of garbage fake junk, trying to pass itself off as non-garbage fake junk. So let's take a look at some garbage fake junk, the first of which is the Nintendo XDS, uploaded around June of 2015.
What you'll see is pretty self-explanatory, so stay tuned.
Obviously, the leaker was trying to make this come off as a private presentation Nintendo was holding to people such as third-party developers or retail partners or whatever. But that is a voice clip of Bill Trinen taken from somewhere else. You didn't need to pop that in there. Not including the voice clip would have made this more convincing. Whoa, slow down there! I don't want the low-quality CGI patrol in my case. Regardless, the XDS seems to be a portable Wii U 3DS combo system. The use of the dual screens is definitely in the oddball arena, however. Like, why does it show the menu screen of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U on the bottom, but then the top screen shows gameplay? You can flip the screen around and make it a single screen experience, which is a neat concept. Overall, it's not a convincing video in the slightest, but not a bad one. The Nintendo Cross, Crucifixion's big comeback. It was released around the same time as the Nintendo XDS leak, and it takes a very similar form, being filmed as if it was a presentation or whatever. I do not like this concept, and it's also not a very professional looking video. So it's a console that plays Wii U and 3DS games, and you can stream them to your mobile device or Wii U gamepad. I mean, that's more of a nice bonus feature rather than a complete selling point. The controller included with the console is a hacked up Photoshop of the Wii U Pro controller too. The image looks too pixelated to be official from Nintendo, and you can see the image was sloppily edited to have a transparent background. The lines look too effing jaggy. So after all that, let me pick what exactly about this leak was fake. Yeah, that sounds about right. You ever have the lust to play Zelda on a soap dish? We've all been there, and this leak tried to please that primal instinct. This is obviously based off the patent Nintendo filed, and I gotta say, this is really well done and seemed relatively real. Of course, patents rarely look this close to the final product, but I gotta say, it looked fucking stupid enough to be real. The Nintendo Focus, a leak posted on 4chan, credibility is an understatement. Games would include Breath of the Wild, a new Super Smash Bros. Alongside a remake of Smash Bros. Melee, F-Zero Squared, re-releases of Pokemon Gold and Silver, a new 3D Mario game, Animal Crossing Election Year, Pikmin 4, ports of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and a new IP from Goodfield Pilio released on March 10th, 2017. You see, I wouldn't have believed this if it wasn't words on the internet. I mean, it's words on the internet. The credibility credits itself at that point. Hello everybody and welcome to Critique That Leak, the only show that encourages you to rev up those Microsoft Word documents because these leaks can be done by anybody. Now even you can become famous for not working at Nintendo. Over the past few years, there have been more and more made-up rumors on the made-up contents of made-up Nintendo Directs that never happened, so let's take a look at them and see if they deserve to be taken seriously, or just kidding, let's see how embarrassing these things can possibly be for the lying garbage man who posted them. There are two types of fake leaks surrounding Nintendo Directs. We have the actually extremely well done ones that feature high-quality renders and or animation, and then the rest of them. Today on Critique That Leak, we'll be look taken at the 99%. Many were vocally shrieking about the supposed leaked Direct lineup for July 22nd, 2018 simply because two of the things listed were officially announced. Funko announced they'd be making Pokemon figures, and Nintendo announced Mario Kart 8 Deluxe would continue to receive updates. This leak details that Nintendo would announce a new partnership with the Abstinence Factory and squared out a new DLC pack for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We'd also get a new Super Mario Bros. Game for Switch entitled New Super Mario Bros. World, which I keep trying to tell myself is a bad title. So many Mario games have the word world in them. It'll confuse people, but I kinda sorta like the title. Mario Maker for Switch comes with a stylus, Mother 3 comes to the 3DS and a remake entitled Mother 3D, Mortal Kombat X, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Fallout 76 come to Switch, Star Fox Racing, Mega Man 11, and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And, Jesus, there's more. Final Fantasy 7 and Cuphead are coming to Switch? It's pretty obvious this was a bunch of serpent grease. Firstly, this Direct landed on July 22nd, Sunday. Normally, Nintendo Directs here in the West land in the middle of the week to make it easier for websites to report on the news. Secondly, this list is just too much. Has this leaker even seen a Nintendo Direct? Seriously, this is non-stop big new game reveal after big new game reveal. There's no time to breathe here with like a spotlight on a previously announced indie game or something. We'd be lucky to get two of the things listed. Nintendo would easily spread all these announcements across the year. Also, why would they announce a new Super Mario Bros. Game alongside Mario Maker? The thing is, people don't care. Both in terms of those who make a fake leak and those who believe a fake leak. People get excited over anything posted in a list format on 4chan. I can post my grocery list and say I work at Nintendo and somebody will make a YouTube video about it. A Nintendo Direct in January 2018? I've heard that one before. This list highlights the game Fire Emblem Mutiny, which this title is at least a metric 12 times better than the actual Fire Emblem Switch game's name we got. What is that? Purple and Gold Joy-Cons, Box Boy Collection, which I assume is on the Switch, Bayonetta 2, Yoshi's Pop-Up, Street Fighter, Kirby, Octopath Traveler is renamed Octopath Voyage, Final Fantasy 15, Nier Automata, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Everybody was going nuts for a potential Nintendo Direct in January 2018, and this does a good job of being disappointing enough to be believable. Hey, Final Fantasy 15, Nier Automata, and Grand Theft Auto 5 are all awesome third-party titles for the Switch, but overall this Direct would have been a bit lighter in terms of pure Nintendo games. I'll gladly say while this isn't the most exciting rumor to me personally, it was definitely one of the more believable ones. Folders! This guy's thinking out of the box! You see, everybody else does a list. This guy does folders, like he's working for Nintendo PR. He has a hard drive full of everything the Direct's got, including WarioWare Amiibo Mania, where WarioWare is spelled with a space in between the words, which isn't how WarioWare is spelled. You smell that? We're in 2015, where people actually took these things seriously. A new Lost in Blue game for 3DS? Well, that's at least bizarre enough to work. Project Steam? Yeah, the game was already named Codename Steam at E3 2014. This is getting less leaky by the leak. A Bayonetta game for 3DS? Yeah, sure. For new 3DS games, this guy decided to name ports of console games New. Alright, that sounds Nintendo-y enough to work. I'll give them that one. Grima's Vengeance, Mario Wii U. Well, this is obviously a pretty packed direct. This one has its flaws, but I'll give it some slack. Nothing's too out of the ordinary. Tried and true Nintendo Switch presentation 2017. Not a true Nintendo Direct, but close enough to talk about some fun logos. Apparently, this leak states that the Nintendo Switch console, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, Mario Kart, Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and Super Mario Universe will all launch on March 17th, 2017. I will give this leak credit that the logos look nice, not necessarily the most professional in the world, but good enough. However, the title Super Mario Universe is the most overused name any fan suggests for an upcoming Mario game. Also, what the hell do I call this Mario Kart game? Mario Kart 8 Switch? Mario Kart Infinity Switch? Is the 8 on its side just an aesthetic thing now? And is it just Mario Kart Switch? That's the first no-no of any logo design, if it's confusing to even understand what the title is. Also, just my opinion, but if Kelly and Marie were both revealed as Smash Bros. Characters and they both have the same stay fresh following their names, wouldn't it make more sense to show them in the same screen rather than separate, like Callie and Marie stay fresh? The mock-ups look cool, it's just believable. Yeah, right. You ever get home and you're like, I know what I'm doing tonight, red Times New Roman font. A new Nintendo 2DS Regular Edition, that's one way to run a business. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Edition. For what? Yeah, this is gonna be a critique from me. If I had to describe Smash Bros. In 8 words or less, I'd say it's random matches with some characters and mechanics, which according to this here leak is how Nintendo describes their own video game on an E3 showroom instruction list. Obviously, this list would be for people demonstrating the games at E3, so why are the descriptions written as if it's a leaker on 4chan describing what's going to be shown at E3? Huh. And that is how a leak is critiqued, and while I do think most leaks are dumb, what can I say? I love looking at these things. I actually would really like to see how a lot of these leaked Nintendo Direct lists were made. Hello everybody and welcome to Critique That Leak, the show for people looking for meaning in their life. You just have to look really hard. We here at Critique That Leak take our leak critiquer titles very seriously. It's not every day somebody goes to the effort of opening up Photoshop, so we really have to embrace each and every leak we can. Who has time to erase one word from a Zelda logo? During 2017 to 2018, there were some rumors floating around about a Link's Awakening remake heading to the Nintendo 3DS. Now, that ended up being for the Nintendo Switch, and while I do believe that remake probably started life on the 3DS, this isn't it. This guy decided to be clever and lazy. See, the title The Legend of Zelda Awakening follows the format of another Game Boy remake on 3DS, Metroid Samus Returns. Take the original title and shake the words up a bit for the remake. The problem is, Nintendo wouldn't use the original Zelda logo from the 90s with no real alterations for a new release of theirs, even if it is for a remake. However, I will put this leak up on the wall to remind me no matter how lazy I am, I could be lazier. So these logos made the rounds in early 2012 and were supposedly a set of Zelda titles, one called the Ice Prophecy and one called the Fire Prophecy. Obviously being a dual release puts these in line with Oracle of Seasons and Ages from the Game Boy Color. I gotta be honest, at first glance, there's not a ton to pick apart with these ones. They're fairly well done. However, somebody who spoke Japanese came forward and stated that the kanji used in the titles were nonsensical. The leaker obviously used Google Translate or something to create the Japanese text. As somebody who doesn't speak Japanese, I gotta say, what a fucking idiot. During the Majora's Mask 3D hysteria from 2011 to 2014, various rumors came out about the game's existence. Retailer listings, hints from Nintendo. It was a game that just had to come out at some point, and I specifically remember retailer listings would use fan box art sometimes. And I will take this as an opportunity to say this box art was really good, but I like the fan box art that was more in line with Ocarina 3D. I am a big supporter of that. But here we have some fan art that some people took as a real Majora's Mask 3DS XL, purple and all. The perfect color for a Majora's Mask themed system. And what Majora's Mask system did we get? I'm glad I'm colorblind. Could you imagine if you had access to a top secret Nintendo game and all you had on you was a flipbook for a camera and decided to only film the title screen? It's a fucking handheld system. If you can't film it there, pick it up and bring it to the bathroom. Back in 2017, Nintendo announced a multiplayer Kirby game was in the works for the 3DS, and right before E3, this year's screenshot leaked, and it is one of the better ones I've seen. The overall style of the logo looks really professional and honestly, better than some other Kirby games. Now, what are Star Knights? I don't know. It seems like they popped this into a Kirby title generator. It's on a screen! You ever see a game not on a screen? This one must be true. I don't have much to say about this one other than nothing screams a fantasy adventure game more than a big fat G on the shield. Before the new 3DS XL was announced for North America, this banner came into GameStop and leaked online. I wonder what it could mean. In April of 2014, Nintendo trademarked the title codenamed Steam, Strike Team eliminating the alien menace. Nobody knew what it meant, but it wasn't until E3 2014 that Nintendo hosted a dedicated conference to announce Codename Steam for the 3DS. And, fun fact, did you know Codename Steam released?